special meeting of the North Loop Pool Park and Recreation District Board of Commissioners. Call this meeting to order at 6:04 p.m. Roll call. Commissioner Larson.
Present.
Commissioner Hartman. Here. Commissioner Trainer. Here. Commissioner Whitmer. Here. Commissioner Guy.
Here.
We're gonna deal with it because I can't mute that apparently.
All right, moving on to the agenda. Thanks for the agenda.
Preliminary budget review.
Commissioners.
Anybody else?
Thank you.
I move to strike preliminary budget review from the agenda and add administrative items.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
So we'll move on to administrative items. I think one pressing one would be our agendas and what we would like for that to look like moving forward. Anybody want to open discussion?
Sure, I'll open discussion. Think that it would be a good policy review to have two people, to have two eyes on the agenda before it goes out. And I think as the secretary, if you could send that to me as soon as it's drafted. And then that way there's a second set of eyes on it before you send it to the chair. I think it'll help with the process. Okay. Sweet.
Everybody on board with that process moving forward?
To clarify, the chair, read the agenda, secretary.
So no, the way it's we were supposed to be doing was the director would be creating the agenda and then it would be approved by the chair and then it would fill that part we haven't done. And so we're trying to bring it back to where if you're contacting both the chair and the secretary, whoever they may be, once we are coming up on that we can review for any errors that may be happening, because we are seeing a rather large influx of public notices and then having to correct, or it's happening more frequently. So we're going to try to eliminate that as much as we can and just be prepared so we can be prepared for our meetings and such. Yeah. I think one thing that would also probably be beneficial as far as, policies and methods, if we are having like a special meeting like we are tonight, we've requested it's not able to be furnished where we can review it in a timely manner. Communicate that to the board so we can be at least have a heads up.
Okay.
Anything else?
How early do you want the information for a special meeting?
I think it depends on the topic. When it comes to, I can't even think of reasons we have special meetings, but I know the budget's a big one that we kind of just want to be prepared going into. It's not something I think any of us really want to sit here and go over in our meetings. We want to come with questions and be able to kind of be armed and have a productive meeting. But if it's something like budget, because when we were going into this, we had said this date specifically, can this be furnished ahead of time?
Sorry, I wasn't part of that.
Yeah, we know.
It's okay. It's just future things and to make things a little bit more streamlined. I know we called special meetings for things that aren't quite as in depth. I don't think that they would be as pressing to have ahead of time as much as the budget, but with there being so many line items and just giving it a chance to digest and have a couple of looks at it before we make any decisions or changes and stuff going into those.
Sounds very interesting.
Well, thank you. Any other administrative?
Are you looking at me?
You always have something.
No, I don't think I do. Am I supposed to?
No, absolutely not.
Okay. I forget something.
Do you have something? Can we add our commissioner emails to the email chain that goes out to the public so the commissioners are able to see what's being transmitted generally to our patrons?
Yeah. If you want to be on the email.
Hearing nothing. Moving on to action item.
So 2 eyes on the agenda before they go out, communicate to the board if they aren't going to get the packet before a special meeting, and add all commissioners to email distribution.
I think it's looking promising, or I think we got a good future.
I would like to express my gratitude to our levy committee. Thank you guys. Knocked it out of the park, and I know you were super involved too, so thank you.
Been a lot of hard work across the board and also extending that gratitude to our citizen-led group as well. They really dug in and made sure we got the word out, and it looks like things are trending in a successful victory. So hopefully we'll have
A number of times I was not able to sign waves because I was off island, but on my way off island, I saw a very enthusiastic sign wave going on for our levy. I mean, I don't know if they were cold and they were trying to stay warm, but those signs were moving. Our committee has done a lot of work and they've been very enthusiastic and very steadfast in their support of this levy and trying to get the word out. And sign waving was only one part of it. I only mention that because it was quite evident on the weekends.
I love them. Awesome. Well, here's to a good future ahead, guys. And the budget, I think we need to schedule the budget meeting.
We just added to.
Are you ready?
No, we've got questions.
So we've had questions and needed discussion with you guys. I would have felt more comfortable with us having been a workshop because there's so many moving pieces and not knowing which eventualities we were really planning for. A lot of good sense. So I think we will definitely do it for the
part of this too is we don't get some of the information until later on this month, but it's also doubly an issue with the ballot being on there because the ballot's not going to get certified until after. And if it goes into where there's less than 500 votes, they won't post if there's not more than 500 ballots waiting to be counted for secrecy. And so we all know at this table that a 500 count can go a big swing for a local thing. So that's going to be difficult because our meeting is on the 21st and we have to have everything turned in by the 27th. So what our typical process is for the budget is typically we have a budget workshop, which is longer. And the board had originally wanted it that way because they wanted to dive in depth to it during a workshop. So that's kind of why because we would send it out and then nobody would really, I think Jamie is really the only one that's come really prepared for it in the past. And so because they were expecting to spend that time in the workshop and really have those discussions. So I think that's where Julie and I were a little bit confused about like how today was going to kind of shake out for it. Because there were still a lot of questions for us to ask. But I can switch.
So do we only need a workshop and not a special meeting?
So typically we do the workshop and it lasts anywhere from 2 to 3 hours. And then you guys give us yes, yes, no, no, yes, yeah. And then we present the final one in the November meeting. And then if you like that, then if the paperwork is good, I think we've only in the 4.5 years that I've done it, I think we've only had to change one thing and then ended up having to have a special meeting to fix that change because I came with all the levy certified paperwork. And then at the last minute, I think the board said, yeah, go ahead and instead of spending some of the capital that we were going to spend the next year, they decided to have us spend the capital that year. So it changed. We had to pull capital out of the budget. So it changed our certificate. So that's normally how we do it. But we can go the other way if you prefer to review at home and keep the budget meeting short.
So if we do a workshop next week, we can bring a resolution on the 21st.
Yeah, that was our.
Yeah, I like it. I was just looking at my calendar.
And
And it would be
for the
nice to
bylaws
have
too.
the information early so that we can take a look. So maybe it's not a 3-hour meeting.
Yeah, so I think that
That's great for us. I think that's what we prefer. But what we were finding is when we would get there were all these questions. And so after the first year, the board said, we're just going to do the workshop and we're going to make sure you guys all know it moving forward. But yeah, if you guys want to do it ahead of time,
Yes.
that's great.
So basically, November 21st, which is voting yes or no.
The bylaws are done. We just need a resolution.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I did have that prepared as a resolution for the last meeting, but then we switched it. But I apologize for that because I understood that some of you were expecting for it to be a resolution and others weren't.
Yeah.
I did have it prepared that way, but then we changed it after the direction.
I think we're done. We're done hashing it out. We just need to sign a
just need to
resolution.
sign.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, the
So,
last meeting, I think we all came to an accord.
so I'm good with scheduling a workshop for the budget next week so that we can have the resolutions prepared for the 21st regular meeting.
Okay.
Good with next Thursday.
I think I'm good. Yeah, I'm gonna just say yes.
Sheer pleasure.
And
do not have your part.
I'm pretty sure I'm supposed to
We
be
do
doing
Wednesdays.
Good for next Wednesday.
Tuesday.
Cheer practice.
Not available Wednesday.
What about Monday?
Monday.
Monday's
holiday.
Veterans Day.
Just my answer is
Yeah,
that,
we
you
have
know,
a meeting that day too.
we postpone ours.
That's a good question for Jay and Julie. Do we have program committee stuff to talk about?
No, because our person that had some stuff that he had to sign for it is I don't think will be here. I think he'll
Somebody's
be in.
29.
Illinois or just coming back from Illinois.
Certainly push our committee meetings and following.
Yeah, because it doesn't sound like we have anything to.
I do have the contract back from the attorney, but I have to review it still.
I think we're okay to let that go for another month. It's just we don't even know.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I thought this was gonna effectively be like more like the workshop without being part of that conversation.
Monday work for you guys?
Yeah, Monday's fine with me.
It's the Monday.
Just reschedule our program meeting.
Something a little earlier, like 4, or do you guys normally meet at 6 or?
Yeah,
5.
I was gonna say I don't work on Mondays, but nobody works on Monday.
What's Monday?
Veterans Day.
Oh, no, we-
Veterans Day.
Huh?
I was supposed to be out of town, but I can't. I'll just schedule. So Monday's fine.
Should only do Tuesday.
No, it's fine.
Rachel says she's good with Tuesday, so how about you?
Oh, God, it's Monday on Tuesday.
Okay, the Bill's no good on Tuesday.
Monday is fine. Monday, 5 o'clock.
You can set up a return.
So wait for the calendars to talk to each other, but it won't. Public will not talk to the civilians.
For the program. Or we just want.
Meeting at 5 on Monday.
I think we
that's fine.
probably should have a meeting, even if there isn't anything right now, just for continuity. We can discuss what we came up with in the budget. Not the budget, but
I mean,
yeah, the formula. I'm gonna guess. So I'll move it. It's here. If you want to do it at 5, that's fine.
Yeah, I'll do that. Could you, if you guys have questions for us, can you put it in an email? That way we can come prepared with answers.
Is there anything you need?
There are a couple of things. I can email it to you to the board and then you guys just bring your individual.
Yeah, I wasn't implying that we would like reply to the email. I think we'll just take the answers and, or the questions and compile answers for the meeting that we were.
So in the November meeting is usually the November, can't remember. I think it's November is when we decide on COLA and. Oh, you did already? Never mind.
We usually do the salary. Wait,
Hey.
based on the COLA.
Meeting is
11:11 at 5 p.m.
11:11 at 5 p.m.
here.
here at the pool. Is that the pool?
I did.
Yeah, we both.
I did the place better
Uh,
at the pool.
any motion?
A motion to adjourn.
second.
All in favor, say aye.
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 I guess I can, never mind. I got it.